In the code that's quietly building our world, a storm is gathering. And this isn't a conflict of machines. Oh no, it's a conflict over the rules that will control them. Welcome to The Explainer.
Just think about this for a second. What if the next great leap in technology isn't actually about faster chips or smarter algorithms? What if it all comes down to a single global decision that will define our entire future?
Because that's not a what if anymore. We've arrived at that exact moment. The year is 2026. And this is the year that the explosive, unchecked growth of artificial intelligence finally meets its moment of reckoning.
So let's break this down. First up, the AI emergency brake. Why this sudden desperate urgency? Well, it's because AI is no longer just some interesting tool. It's become absolutely mission critical. I mean, you've got 65% of CEOs calling AI one of their top 3 priorities. But this race to integrate it into the very core of our society, it has come at a price.
And that price is risk. We're not talking about small things here. We're talking about massive security breaches, viral misinformation that can destabilize entire nations, flawed decisions that cost fortunes, and, maybe scariest of all, algorithmic discrimination that quietly damages lives. These aren't just theories anymore. These are the tangible dangers that have forced governments around the globe to pull the emergency brake.
And this isn't just happening in 1 or 2 places. We are right in the middle of a global regulatory revolution. Right now, more than 69 countries are scrambling, drafting over 1,000 different policies just to try and get a handle on this technology. And at the very heart of this revolution, 2 giants are on a collision course.
On one side, you have Europe's fortress of rules. You can think of it just like that, a fortress. Its blueprint is the EU AI Act, and this is a big deal. It's the world's first comprehensive legal framework for artificial intelligence. And it's built on a single powerful idea, protecting fundamental human rights.
So how's it work? The EU's approach is super methodical. It's a 4-level risk pyramid. At the very top, you have anything deemed an unacceptable risk. Think government social scoring or a manipulative AI. That stuff is banned. Outright. At the bottom, you've got minimal risk AI, like spam filters, and that's left alone. The real battleground, though, is in the middle.
And what qualifies as high risk? Well, think about the AI systems that can fundamentally change your life. We're talking about the software that sorts your job application, the AI that decides if you get a loan, the AI that scores your exams, or even an AI that tells a judge if evidence is reliable. This is where Europe is drawing a hard line with some really strict regulations.
But here's the thing. This fortress is already starting to show some cracks. Europe is facing what you could call an implementation crisis. Key deadlines for publishing the technical standards for these high-risk systems, the actual rulebook companies need to follow, they've been missed.
And the impact of that is clear. As one European media network put it, the delay creates significant legal uncertainty. With that big August 2026 enforcement date getting closer and closer, innovators are basically left in limbo, totally unsure if the products they're building right now will even be legal.
Now let's jump across the Atlantic, because America is waging a war on rules. The U.S. federal government has a very clear mission: remove any and all barriers to ensure American innovation leads to global AI dominance. It's a completely different philosophy.
And this really highlights that fundamental clash of ideologies. Where Europe puts rights first, the U.S. puts innovation first. Where Europe follows a better safe than sorry precautionary principle, the U.S. demands that any framework be minimally burdensome. The goal in Brussels is trustworthy AI. The goal in Washington is total global dominance.
And to win this war on rules, the White House has put together a powerful toolkit. The Department of Justice has an AI litigation task force with basically one job: sue states whose local safety laws are considered too restrictive. Meanwhile, other government agencies like the FCC and FTC are being told to rewrite rules to override any of those state-level protections.
And maybe the biggest weapon in their arsenal is money. A lot of money. Over $42 billion from a broadband program. And here's the kicker. The federal government can withhold that funding from any state that refuses to fall in line with its innovation-first national agenda.
Okay, so this isn't just a legal debate anymore. This clash of philosophies is already creating what economists are calling the Great Divergence. It's a massive real-world split in how talent, capital, and innovation are flowing across the planet.
Just look at this chart. It shows the stark reality of the compensation canyon. A senior AI engineer in the EU might make around €150,000. In the US, with salary and equity, that same engineer can make triple that amount, or even more. The result? A massive brain drain.
But, it's not just about the money. Talent is fleeing Europe because of the whole ecosystem.
The US offers better access to the massive computing power you need for cutting-edge research. It has a culture that celebrates breaking things over complying with rules, and a financial system that rewards risk-takers with potentially life-changing equity.
So all this leads to two futures lying ahead of us. These two different paths are taking us toward two starkly different worlds. By 2035, things could look very, very different, depending on which philosophy wins this showdown.
In one possible future, the one shaped by the EU's model, we get scenario A, the regulated future. In this world, AI is safer, it's more ethical, and it's broadly trusted by the public. But the trade-off is that innovation is slower, much more cautious. Our fundamental rights are secure, but a technological gap widens between Europe and the rest of the world.
Then you have scenario B, the unchained future, which is driven by the American model. Here, AI innovation is just explosive, economic growth is staggering, and technological dominance is absolute. But the risks are far greater. We're talking more social disruption, deeper inequality, and the constant threat of autonomous systems making catastrophic errors.
This all brings us to the ultimate paradox of 2026. The control dilemma. And it's a choice we all have to face, because the very laws designed to protect us from the dangers of AI could be the exact same ones that prevent us from realizing its full potential.
And this presents a fundamental choice, not just for policymakers, but for every single one of us. When you're faced with a technology this powerful, do you choose control, even if it means sacrificing progress? Or do you choose chaos, in the hope that the next breakthrough innovation will somehow solve all the problems it creates?
This debate is officially open, and it's one of the most important of our lifetime. Should governments put a leash on AI, or should they let innovation run wild? What do you think is the right path forward? We want to know. Share your choice in the comments. The choice we make in the next few years will echo for generations. Subscribe to The Explainer to stay ahead of what's to come, because the future isn't waiting for us to decide. It's already here.